Toprak Razgatlıoğlu's name is now being spoken in the same breath as one of MotoGP's most gifted and enigmatic legends, Casey Stoner. Across the paddock, across social media, and across insider conversations, a bold comparison has emerged. Some are calling the Turkish rider Casey Stoner 2.0. Others go even further, describing him as the spiritual reincarnation of the Australian genius.
And while Casey Stoner himself has not issued a definitive public verdict on Toprak, the comparisons refuse to fade. Instead, they continue to grow louder. What makes this narrative especially interesting is that it hasn't been fueled by fans alone. The voices behind the comparison come from some of the most experienced and respected figures in the racing world. Managers, former riders, engineers, and team insiders have all pointed to the same qualities: natural talent, extreme adaptability, and a riding style that looks impossible until it works. One of the strongest endorsements came from Alberto Verani, a well-connected manager who did not hesitate to label Toprak as Casey Stoner 2, citing his instinctive feel for the motorcycle and his rare ability to adapt instantly to completely different machinery. Verani highlighted how quickly Toprak settled into the BMW World Superbike project, transforming the bike into a title-winning weapon in record time. For many, that rapid adaptation echoes exactly what Stoner once did with Ducati, when others struggled to even understand the bike. The similarities don't stop at adaptability. Former MotoGP rider Sylvain Guintoli has pointed to Toprak's braking technique as the clearest link to Stoner. Both riders are known for compressing the braking phase into an impossibly short window, carrying speed deeper into corners than logic suggests should be possible. It's the kind of technique that doesn't show up clearly on paper, but becomes devastatingly obvious on track. Riders behind them can see the difference immediately, yet struggle endlessly to replicate it. Christian Gabarini, Casey Stoner's former Ducati crew chief, and a man who has worked with some of the most talented riders of the modern era, has also weighed in. Gabarini recalls how Stoner's telemetry data often looked unreal, almost broken compared to other riders. Lines that shouldn't exist, breaking points that defied physics, and according to Gabarini, Toprak is now producing that same kind of data, numbers that make engineers pause, rewind, and question what they're seeing. Another former rider, Marco Melandri, added yet another layer to the comparison. While acknowledging that riders like Stoner or Marc Marquez might still hold the edge in outright speed, Melandri emphasized something different: control. According to him, Toprak's control over the motorcycle is unlike anything he has ever seen. The way he stops the bike, the way he balances it on the limit, the way he saves moments that look completely lost. Melandri described it as both frightening and beautiful to watch.
The bike control that Toprak has, I've never seen it in anyone else, Melandri said. Maybe Casey Stoner or Marc Marquez can be faster, but Toprak has incredible control. It's really fun to watch him go around the track and stop the bike when you think it's impossible.
So far, most of the conversation has been shaped by observers rather than Stoner himself. The Australian legend has remained characteristically reserved, offering no headline-grabbing quotes. But even without his direct endorsement, the message is clear. Toprak Razgatlıoğlu is arriving in MotoGP not as a curiosity, but as a phenomenon. His move to Yamaha and the Pramac structure represents not just a new chapter for him, but a potential shakeup for the entire grid. And while Toprak's future generates excitement, Honda is already looking even further ahead. The Japanese manufacturer has taken a bold step by beginning early on-track testing of its 2027 prototype motorcycle. Last week, Honda's RC241V development team completed its final 3-day test of the 2025 season at the Sepang International Circuit. The goal was clear: begin laying the groundwork for the new 850cc era. Unfortunately for Honda, the test was heavily disrupted by relentless rain. 3 days of wet conditions severely limited track time, leaving engineers with only fragments of usable data. Engine development suffered, tire evaluations were compromised, and many key questions remain unanswered. Still, even in difficult conditions, Honda managed to offer the world a first glimpse of what the future might sound like. For the first time, the roar of the new 850cc engine was heard publicly, and images of the next-generation MotoGP machine, internally named the RC214V, were shared through Honda's official channels. According to reports, Takeaki Nakagami rode a hybrid prototype featuring reduced aerodynamics and an engine already compliant with the 2027 technical regulations.
This test was significant for another reason as well. It marked the first on-track appearance of prototype tires supplied by Pirelli, the brand aiming to replace Michelin as MotoGP's sole tire supplier starting in 2027. Nakagami tested both rain tires and slicks, but with so few dry laps completed, meaningful conclusions were difficult to draw.
The Sepang test also represented a turning point for Honda in regulatory terms. It was the final test in which the manufacturer could fully benefit from D-rank concessions. Stronger results at the end of the season promoted Honda to C-rank status, bringing immediate restrictions. No more unlimited testing, no more private test sessions with factory riders. From now on, Honda must operate under the same constraints as Ducati, KTM, and Aprilia. That reality has forced Honda to carefully restructure its development strategy. Going forward, Alex Espargaro will focus on refining the current RC213V, while Nakagami continues development work on the 2027 RC214V. Espargaro is expected to join the Future Bike project midway through the season, splitting responsibilities in a tightly controlled testing schedule. Meanwhile, another major change is unfolding off the track. Lin Jarvis, one of the most influential figures in modern MotoGP management, has now completely parted ways with Yamaha. After stepping down as team manager and transitioning into an advisory role, Jarvis has decided to become fully independent. According to paddock sources, Jarvis has informed key figures of his intention to offer his decades of experience to any organization seeking guidance. His departure marks the end of a career spanning more than 30 years with Yamaha, beginning in communications and marketing before rising to the highest executive levels. Though no longer officially embedded within Yamaha's daily operations, Jarvis remains connected to the manufacturer in an advisory capacity. One of his final major responsibilities will be representing Yamaha in negotiations with Dorna over the next MotoGP commercial agreement, a deal that will shape the financial future of the teams. As MotoGP moves toward a new era, the sport stands at a crossroads. New regulations, new machines, new tires, and new stars stepping into the spotlight. Among them, Toprak Razgatlıoğlu may carry the heaviest expectations of all. Whether he becomes the next Casey Stoner or forges something entirely his own, one thing is already certain: MotoGP is about to change.